What's up, guys? It's your boy GP with DeOrganized Media, bringing you another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together, have an awesome conversation, kick out high frequency vibes, and discuss the latest alpha with the Giga Chads of the ecosystem. I hope everybody's having a very blessed week. It is the hump day. Get over the hump. Sorry about the late start. We had a little bit of technical difficulties, but we got it figured out. And, we have high frequency vibes always through trials and triumphs. We have to go through these things as we try to produce the show and kick out some good entertainment for you guys, right? So I hope that you do not mind the tardiness. We're going to get straight into the alpha. I may just show a couple little things that happened today. Got some bookmarks. But yeah, I don't want to keep everybody waiting forever. So I'm gonna get into the bookmarks that I have that I think are most important, and then we'll get everybody straight on. So today on Wednesday, in all seriousness, what Base just did was wreck so many people. They launched a coin that was running very well. They seemed to actually give a winner and have the right narrative, only to launch another coin immediately after, nuking everyone that was bridging over from another chain. Yeah, so there is actually just not many people who will ever go back to Base. What a dumpster fire. And my man Jackman Switch is in the house, so maybe we can talk a little bit about this Base rug. Here's the chart for you. Base is for everyone. I don't think it's for anybody after this. Let's read what this guy has to say. So we're at the stage of the cycle where Base is just launching meme coins off the main account. What the fuck has happened to our industry, man? And that resonates with me. So Solana-esque meme coin action on Base. What is this industry coming to? Quit putting your money into these meme coins that are just gonna rug pull you, man. I guess this is the first rug pull from Base. I don't know. I don't know too much about the Base ecosystem, but this was from the main, accounts associated with Base, right? And Base is associated with Coinbase. Not a good look. But yeah, moving on. Big shout out to WagMe with the Block9 app. We covered that on last night's episode. If you wanted to check that out, you can go to DeOrganized.media and look up DeOrganized Nightly and watch the episode for April 15th. Let's get into the next one from Leather. The DeOrganized crew was featured on Leather. This is an awesome video edit here of what happened, what went down on Tuesday yesterday. It was a DeOrganized takeover. So if you want to follow Leather, it is at Leather BTC. Getting into this guy right here, Rosar, the Giga Brain. So the alpha I was talking about isn't just generic SIP10 backed stablecoins, which is cool as fuck, but something much more radical, innovative. Anyone want to chat about that on the X Space this afternoon? And actually, we got this guy to come on, talk a little bit about this in particular live. So we'll talk to Rosar a little bit about what's on his mind. Go follow Stacking DAO, get into the know. Stack your STX for STSDX, start earning auto compounding yield. Stack your STX for STSDX BTC, earn native Bitcoin yield. You know the game. Hermetica, from the Hermetica guys. We've got, let's see, first USDH yield payment on Bellar just dropped. If you use USDH as collateral this week, your first 5% APY payout is on its way. This is just week one of many. If you haven't started trading on Bellar yet, you're not late. You're early to the next week's payout. So in reference and in context, you earn 5% APY for longing Bitcoin on Bellar with USDH. That's what they're talking about here. Unheard of. Being paid 5% APY weekly, or APY, yeah, weekly with weekly payouts is unheard of in DeFi. So go take out a long on Bellar with USDH, earn 5% on your position. Big shout out to the Bitflow guys. They had a whole bunch of alpha that they dropped in the building on Bitcoin spaces today. So very awesome stuff. And they are the multi-dex aggregator that we use in the Stacks ecosystem. Go check out Bitflow at Bitflow_finance. Bitcoin L2 Labs, the Stacks roadmap draft, final call, community feedback. Stackers, we're getting close to locking in the updated Stacks roadmap. Huge thanks to everyone who shared input along the way. The first post is a first pass at summarizing the key priorities. And maybe we'll pull this up a little later if we have some time. From Bitcoin Magazine, 2 billion in gold versus 2 billion in Bitcoin. Look at that. A QR code. Bitcoin, waitlist. Look at $2 billion in gold. I see a very, very much more effective way to store your value against inflation. So there you go. If you want to carry around $2 billion of gold, you're going to need a armored truck and some people to protect it. Latest, Senator Hawley plans to introduce his bill banning stock trading by members of Congress. Yes, this is needed. Forget about it. Like, get out of here. Nancy Pelosi, get your. Anyways, newly created wallet just spent 1 million USDC to buy 1.06 million Fart coin at 94 cents. Fart coin has been all the rage, and the flatulence is real. New Bitcoin dominance surged by 4.6% points in Q1 2025, reaching 59.1%, its highest level since nearly 2021. And here we go. Over 1.5 trillion in value was erased from U.S. stock market today, and Bitcoin stayed stable. We went over a post earlier this week from Cointelegraph stating that Bitcoin was more stable than the S&P. Take a look at this. This kind of proves it. Bitcoin didn't even bulge today. Look at the stocks. New data from Weller. USDT issuance tracks Bitcoin price movements from 2015 to early 2025, highlighting the correlation between USDT supply and Bitcoin cycles. Okay. So people print USDT, they buy Bitcoin. Seems like Panama City Council approves plan to accept crypto payments. Residents can now pay taxes, fines, permits, and fees using BTC, ETH, USDC, and USDT. Huge innovations going on. Companies adopting Bitcoin and crypto. Just in, a wallet dormant for 2 years withdrew 100 BTC worth $8.33 million from Binance. This is a trend. More and more whales are taking their Bitcoin off of exchanges, likely to put it into cold storage and self-custody. So there's your news. Sorry for being a little bit late. I don't want to keep everybody waiting forever. We're already late, so let's bring the guys on. Let me stop sharing my screen. Forget about it. We got the good energy tonight. So we got legend of all legends, Jack and Switch in the house. We have Giga Brain Rosar in the house. We also have legendary Doc and a very familiar or soon to be familiar face, Felicia, with us. We also have Peace Love Music. Our beloved Peace Love Music is in the house, and Ace is in the house. What's up, guys? Sorry about the delay. Restream doing restream things. Can't really, I had to troubleshoot live, and I do appreciate you, Peace, coming through to try to help me figure that out, dude. It was kind of stressful. I started sweating just a couple little sweats, but I wiped it off and we figured it out.
I knew as soon as I saw GP calling me at after 7 p.m. on a weekday that it was a serious issue, because number one, he doesn't usually call me on my phone, and number two, he should be live. So unless we're doing a call-in session or something like that. That was a little hairy. I don't know. I'm still not sure what fixed it, to be honest. It's just kind of like, I guess we
DeOrganized is too based for real stream. It was bound to happen.
Yeah, we are definitely on fire here for sure.
Yeah, dude. I do appreciate you coming through and trying to troubleshoot it. I think it was just a couple expired links to the Facebook stuff like that.
Yeah, I noticed like some of the Facebook. Some of the stream channels were showing up as needed a reconnect or something.
Yeah,
not
and
sure
then
what
I
it was.
just disconnected them, and then it was like poof. It said, "Hey, we didn't have a problem. What are you talking about?" Like,
Yeah,
so,
that's what I was when I went to turn on channels when I was setting up another room just to see if that would solve the problem. I realized that there were some channels that were, so I was reconnecting those, and then Doc had jumped in and said that you got it going. So, and that's, you know what, we persevere. That's what this ecosystem's about. We might not always get it done on time, but we sure as shit gonna get it done, aren't we?
yeah,
While I'm thinking about it, before I forget and let it slip away, I motion that when Ace gets introduced, Ace isn't in the house. Ace is in the place.
Ace is in the place. I like that. That's got a ring to it. I think that might just work.
Or Doc is on the clock. You know, like
Ace is in the
What rhymes with Rosar? That's a tough one.
that's like trying to rhyme orange. That just don't work.
We'll get it. We'll get it.
Rosars in the Ozarks.
That's,
I don't know. Spitballing here.
Y'all
Rose is the Ozarks.
Ozarks. Yeah, dude.
Y'all want the TLDR on the Basis for Everyone meme coin shenanigans?
Please do, Jack. Please, like, inform me, because this is like developing as we speak, isn't it?
What it is it's just stupid. So there wasn't any liquidity pulled because when these tokens are formed like this on the in that pup fund model, you know, they lock liquidity in the beginning anyway, right? It's just a small amount of liquidity, and the token value just shoots through the roof, right? So this Basis for Everyone token launches, and for whatever reason, from the based account, they did a tweet promoting it, right? And as soon as they did that, the price obviously shot up. So it shot up to like $20 million market cap in minutes. And when it did, the top 3 holders that had 45% of the supply immediately sold. So
they should never have. So this is why it's the same reason why Munib doesn't go and mention specific meme tokens on Stacks, because it just would be irresponsible. But to do that when there's supply, 45% of supply is in
3 hands,
people's hands, that is just utterly stupid. And then so whoever's behind the base account or whoever's in their marketing team or made that decision, boo you. That was really
probably
bad.
going to lose their job.
Boo you, sir.
You know what? It reminds me of that one scene in Half Baked where he comes into the AA meeting and he's like, "You in here for some marijuana? Boo this man!"
But it's just that thing where, like,
R.I.P. Bob Saget.
Yeah.
Right. It's just that thing where, you know, if you launch a meme coin in this fashion today and it gets any kind of traction at all, this is the result. Like, you have now had too much time pass with this hyper, you know, rug pull, super market cycle education that the newest people in crypto have. There's no such thing as letting something run anymore. Something's got to organically run. If something is, you know, a meme coin, especially if it just shoots up, you know, to 20 million market cap in minutes, it's gonna get dumped. Like,
right. That's not the time to buy.
Right. So, like, it's as stupid as what Base did was, like, guys, take some responsibility for yourself. If you're jumping in on something like this, like a rocket, read the room. Like, this isn't new. We've been watching this happen for over a year now. Like,
it's
don't
just a
do
different chain. It's just a
don't do it.
Chain,
Treat it like a roulette wheel. Like, I'm not gonna go take the deed to my house and my property and go throw it all on black at the casino. Not gonna do it.
Facts.
So I'll do it with $50. You know, do it with $100. Sure, why not? You know, get me a drink. guess what? This is crypto. You ain't getting a drink. You ain't getting a reach around. You're just gonna probably lose your damn shirt. Okay, so
Yeah,
if you're lucky, just your shirt.
I mean, like you nailed it, man. Like these people are being like, all right. So I get there's a culture in being degen, right? Like, but like there's a certain line. These people that are degening have a little bit like they're not putting the farm up, on these tokens. They know that the risk is like what the risk is. It's high risk, and a lot of them they put their initial in and then take it out soon as it's they break even and then leave a runner. That way it's an even trade. Even then,
the only price action you're going to get now that's like old school crypto for people who's been here for a while, when you could actually let things run for a series of months even, are things that will actually accrue value for whatever reason. Okay? Those things are destined to go up based on how many people are using them, right?
I know that there's a general sentiment here, and I don't hold any myself, but you're better off buying XRP than you are 99% of meme tokens.
Yeah,
XRP is.
It's hard to agree with, but it's true.
That's yeah, I know. It's just like that's like shaking hands with the devil, like.
Well, I get it. I'm not holding XRP. I'm just saying you're better getting something that's at least got some kind of reason to have value. And XRP, while we don't like it for a number of reasons, there are people that do like it for a number of reasons, and so it could have some value long term. Where I doubt there's a meme token on base right now that's worth holding 2 years from now.
Right,
I agree.
And so, but if people want that quick turnaround, they want that 100x. Okay, well, guess what? 3 people just got their 100x. You know what I'm saying?
Look, it happened for him.
Right. It's not going to happen like that anymore. Like,
and he's going to go post his P&L. Like, yeah, and then everybody else is going to get rugged again because they're going to follow him.
And like what? Okay, so like Bitcoin Cash. I'm trying to remember what the high for Bitcoin Cash was. I think it was like $3,000 or so. It got up.
I think it got up to like 7, 8, 9 grand, but like, so at that point, all my Bitcoin was on Coinbase, and so I got an allotment of BCH, but we didn't get access. We couldn't do anything. We didn't actually get it until way after the price cratered.
So I was still pretty new, and I remember watching Bitcoin Cash just get on that run.
It went nuts.
I'm sitting there.
People were saying it was going to take over Bitcoin,
right? And I'm sitting there, like just trying to get an order in on Coinbase, and none would go through, right? So and it did. It just shot up. It was a beautiful thing to see. Today, Bitcoin Cash is trading under $400, but in that time frame back then, you could still do that with alts, and you could do that with ultimately what were meme coins back then. Like, there's so many of them that weren't really doing anything. They just said they were going to do something. And, but they wouldn't dump immediately. But the behavior of the people in this space is not the same as it was in 2017.
Right. Well, there's number one, there's a lot more draw for liquidity. Like, there's a lot more directions for it to get pulled into. And number two, there's that it's not there. It's already happened so many times, so you can't you can't expect it to just nobody.
Do you expect
reason to? Yeah,
the 3 people who owned Basis for Everyone, who owned 45% of the supply, to be like, I am so invested in the long-term health of this project that I'm going to hold. I'm going to hold this. No, they're going to see.
Yeah, of course they can't. Why they would be foolish to? There's no reason to, except for like how did they get the pump to begin with? How did they get that tweet out there?
Right. And
Who
however,
got paid for that?
Somebody's
And-
ass got paid, yes, and then they got fired, right? Yeah.
but if they didn't get paid, if someone was naive and like, hey, this is cool, let's try to foster more community, whatever. Give them the benefit of the doubt. By the way, I agree with you. This was
yeah.
Sure, but we can suppose it. We don't know for sure what happened.
It's still stupid.
We'll say there's a good chance that that's the case, but we don't know.
But the point is, like, it's not the same, okay? And if you're going to degen now, you have to like, I could rattle off 7 or 8 different tokens that I know are going to do quite well in the not too distant future. None of them are going to go to going to 20x their market cap in a matter of minutes, though. We're talking about a period of time that has to, and things that have to go well for the projects.
I make a habit of trying not to give financial advice, but if I were giving financial advice, it would be this: if you see something several X multiple in a matter of minutes, and you are holding, take some profits.
Right.
That's financial advice. Take some profits. That's it. Don't second guess it. Selling is the right move at that time.
Yeah, I must say, like, take a moment, like breathe. Okay, nothing goes up in a straight line. Take some profits. Nobody went broke ever taking profits. And then you had your win for the day. Like, you had your gamble, you won, you beat the markets, right? You sold before somebody else. That's what it boils down to. But I also wanted to take a moment and introduce you guys to Felicia. And Doc's friend is a TikTok influencer that she's pretty based. I had a good conversation with her, and I wanted to go around the room and introduce her. Jack is
Base Felicia.
Right to my right. Below Jack we have Peace, and then Rosar's in the top right there with the Welsh PFP. It's a little doggy.
Yeah.
And,
And Rosar is actually that cute in real life.
Yeah,
Like,
dude. He's like you hold him like a little puppy like this, and he's smart. But yeah, welcome, Felicia. Like, so have you understood anything of what we're talking about?
I've been listening. I'll be honest.
No, Peace.
I have bad ADHD, so like I'll pick up bits and pieces. The more that I listen, the more I'll pick up. So it's just a repetitive thing.
Let's
that
get
I'm
right
doing.
in here with the. We are kind of like
we all have ADHD too. We just all happen to land.
He's
on,
been
like,
trying to get me on it for years, but I have a few more free time on my hands than I did when he first started talking to me about it.
Yeah, we're onboarding Felicia to Stacks. She is based. You know how Doc is, right? Doc's like that cool, easygoing. He's gonna straight right.
You guys think he's cool?
Shut the fuck up right now.
Yeah, she's gonna bust.
I get paid weekly to pretend to be his
Get
friend.
the fuck out of here.
Oh, I was gonna ask, are you the cause of his hernia?
Oh, don't let him lie to you. It was really
It was not. Don't even start. Don't.
prolapse.
It was not prolapse. Also,
Oh no!
it was not that.
He gets it every year.
Man, you gotta take it easy on that thing, man. You only got one of
Who
them.
needs a fucking psychologist? You know what I'm saying? Like,
Oh, breaking. BitBoy could face between 5 and 15 years in prison. Similar cases where a judge has been harassed have typically yielded these sentences. I guess Ben Armstrong is charged with 2 years. Lowest sentence that he could be charged with is 2 years in prison. I guess he is harassing a judge of some sort.
Dude,
What is
that dude lost his mind a long time ago.
needs
Someone
to be
gave him some bad drugs.
Dude, somebody his fall from grace needs to be studied, man. I have a signed book by BitBoy.
You do?
I do. I won it on the Frankie Candle show.
That's awesome.
Yeah,
That's
dude.
great.
Yeah, it's like some memorabilia from the first time whenever I first started getting into crypto. I was watching all these crypto YouTubers and shit. But now I'm around base chads that are helping me learn a whole bunch of cool stuff. So
I never liked BitBoy. I always felt like he was absolutely just like looking to rug everybody every time. And
oh yeah, dude, his bin token, forget about it. Yeah.
Well, the thing, I feel bad for the dude because he's had substance abuse problems,
Right.
and the kind of substances that he likes tend to like lead to episodes of mania,
Psychosis.
and that's probably what got him in this hot water this go around.
Right.
And
But
then
like
that chick that he started like seeing behind his
in terms of like
Yeah.
BitBoy and crypto, I never cared for him because like that was that model of someone who builds a platform and then uses that platform to promote things, and he was able to like buy things cheaply or have them given to him, promote them and sell them at the top. And I was never a fan of that, right?
No, exactly. Like him, that Chico Crypto, Tyler from Chico Crypto, who had good information, but every time you got the information from him, everything had already pumped.
Right.
It was already
and
pumped.
can't even call out guys like that because that's what traditional crypto media does.
Yes.
Like
that's the tradition. You think traditional crypto media, you think crypto banter, you think BitBoy crypto, you think that's traditional media coverage, right? Like altcoin daily, all of these. I'm not saying like I have anything against any of like dirt on any of them, but I'm saying that's what we think of whenever we think crypto media, and that's why doing this with you guys is so important because we're not rugging anybody. We're not promoting shit that we're gonna.
No, we're trying to prevent people from getting rugged. Actually, we're trying to create real value here, and that is what separates what we're doing from a lot of what's out there.
On that note, I'm getting ready to launch DeOrganized is for everybody. So you guys, let's order the supply.
Here, how much supply, Jack? How much supply?
I'm gonna jump right in. All into it.
I don't often give financial advice, but I'm all in on DeOrganized. Wait, what's it called? DeOrganized is for everyone.
Shit, dude. We got Rosar here, right? And Rosar had this big Giga Brain like idea that I saw on the timeline. I had to ring his line. I was like, dude, Rosar, what is this? So Rosar, did you want to get into a little bit of like your thought process and what you have discovered you can do with SIP 10s?
Sure. Yeah. I was just reworking some of like the Blaze contracts to just make it easier for people to use, and just like it's important that it's as straightforward as possible, and like because like there's a lot you can do with it. Like as I found actually yesterday. There's like some crazy use cases that I hadn't even considered yet, but they're pretty cool. So we can get into those. But yeah, I was just reworking it. And I just kind of stumbled on it, and I guess we can get into it.
Yeah. We gotta know, man. The alpha's there, and I please do. Certainly.
Yeah, so it's basically like a real world asset concept. Like. If you think about crypto in general, they're digital bearer assets in a sense, So like the definition of bearer asset is like possession of it is how it's determined. Ownership is determined. You know what I mean? Like you physically can possess it. And with crypto, it's a little different because it's like you don't really possess it. You possess the keys, and so you digitally own the crypto. But like something like cash, like that's a physical bearer asset. Where it's like you physically hold the bills, and that's how you own it, And I think, like in the real world asset space, like we've always seen people like saying they're doing real world assets, but really they're just like putting information on chain. But like the only way to like say you own something is through like court litigation, right? You know what I mean? So it doesn't really do anything. Like to me. Like it doesn't, I don't know. Like I don't really see much value there. But what if we could, it's like right now it's easy to take off, things in the real world and put them on chain, but there's no real way to like get things on chain and like bring them up into like the physical realm. You know what I mean? And I think I figured out how to do that, which is pretty cool.
So like the opposite way, right? Like we know how to take things from the blockchain and then bring them to the real world, but do we know how to do that and vice versa?
Yeah. So I think I cracked that one, which is pretty cool. Because I was trying to. So the first use case I was working on was like creating like monetary notes, like cash, like crypto cash, like something you could like literally hold and give to someone, and like this is like one stable coin, or like this is a $20 bill of a stable coin, and give it to them, and then like by just the fact that they're holding it, like that's that's worth money. Like they could redeem it, and that would effectively like destroy the bill, like similar to like going to the bank and like giving them the bill, and they credit your account. You could do that through like the stablecoin issuer. But yeah, that was like the premise. Because like the first way I implemented like the Blaze signatures is like you had to specify how much you're sending and who you're sending it to. But I was thinking like, wouldn't it be cool if I just like made a signature and then just like shared the information of the signature like on Twitter or something as like a QR code or something, or like a hash or something? And if you don't sign who you're sending it to, really anyone can just like grab it and submit it themselves. Like it's just like a physical thing you could like pick up, and it's first come first serve. First one to submit it, like it transfers to their account, and then it's confirmed. And then I was thinking like, well, what if we just took that like code, like that signature code, and we like put it on like a physical like note, And there's a lot of ways that could like happen. I think there's like a spectrum of like, it could be like centralized where you have to like go to an issuer and like they submit it for you, but there could be like a really decentralized way of doing it too. Like sort of like a scratch card approach, like when you get a scratch card, you like scratch it off and that sort of destroys it, but it reveals like the secret, and that secret can be redeemed for money. So the same approach. Like
you could also use that for physical NFT merchandise.
Exactly. You could have like an NFT print with like a scratch card code on it in the bottom, and it's like, covered in like the scratch material. And then you could like physically give that to someone, and like then they effectively own the NFT, and like at any point they could scratch it off. There's a QR, they scan it, and then it like does the transfer to their account. But they don't have to. It's just like any other off-chain transaction. Like you can move between hands, and it doesn't need to settle until you want to settle it. But at any point, just by holding it, you can settle it. So it effectively is yours.
I think that's the killer use case there.
This is what I'm saying. Like, it's kind of crazy, right? Like I've been researching. I'm trying to find anyone who's done this before. No one's done this before.
No, I honestly really like that idea, because with the DGen Girl Volume 1 mint out, I wanted to do 3 giveaways of prints, and honestly, that's a really good way to do that. So
yeah, like
keep it. Thanks, Rosa.
Yeah, like with bills, like just like I thought of cash initially because like I could like make a bunch of signatures, make like a bunch of $20 bills of like USDH, for instance, or something. I could just like give them to people, or like give them like use it as like a tip at a restaurant, or next time at the strip club, I can like no, I'm just joking, I won't do that. Well, I won't say that. But
make it rain Welsh.
Yes, dude. I want to go to the club.
Yeah.
I want to go to the bar, and I'm like, yo, baby, come here. I'm just gonna rain some Welsh.
Yeah, make some Welsh dollars rain down. But then I like changed like a parameter, and I was like, well, we can actually do stable coins for like any asset. If you don't like if you're not as like rigid with the amount you're transferring, you could have like $1 worth USD, and then just have an Oracle look up like how much is $1 of Welsh at this like submission time or like redemption time, and then just transfer that amount of Welsh instead of like a fixed amount of tokens. But like same principle, like as it's changing hands, it still says like $1 on it, and like anytime you redeem it, it will still be $1. So you can treat it as $1 for all.
What if you had 2 different types of notes? one that represents the price and like the amount of tokens in Welsh, and then one that represents the dollar value of the amount of Welsh. Like you
Yeah,
have,
that's basically I have both implemented. Like the first one, like the fixed token amount was what I did first because I was thinking I would start with like a stable coin as like the bill, like USDH or USDC or some sort of like stable coin just to keep it like simple. Because then I just, it's just easy. There's no oracle involved. You just transfer a fixed amount of tokens. But then after like playing around with it, I was like, well, we can actually like make a stable coin out of anything just by like, because this is off chain. So like we just have like a secure server, like just do like an oracle price lookup. Obviously, you got to secure it, make sure no one like hacks it and changes the price oracle or does some sort of
I
more.
really like this for NFTs and physical items
Yes,
a
it
lot.
like all real world assets. Like you could do this for like
Yeah.
your car title, you could have on one of these things, your house deed. You know what I mean? Like literally anything. But art, yeah,
Your
like
tax bill.
You know what would be a cool experiment? You might want to talk to Wagme about this because he set up a merch store through his Block9 app.
mhm.
And so let's say, he wanted to help people understand what an NFT is. And, there could be some item, it could be a book, anything, right? Any piece of media, what have you, that he could sell. And when the person got it, then they could, scratch, do whatever, get there. And now they have that NFT in their wallet and just kind of help connect the dots. But this is awesome for like physical art,
Yeah.
for comic books,
dude,
any of this stuff. Yeah.
dude, I
Yeah.
was talking to Rosar like before we went live, like how like the Gigaverse comic could implement this. That would be sick. Like as an artist, this gets me really excited. I think that it'd be fun. I think that it would be something for my collectors, and like think about it. You have an unclaimed, like say that it's not scratched off and nobody's claimed the digital copy, and then you get into grading the comics and stuff like that with like PSA. Like there's so many ways that you can like this goes hand in hand with like collectability.
100%.
Yeah. And just like some background and security of it and all, like how it works is like similar to like public key, private key signatures. Like there would be some public information. Like so, it's like imagine like $1 and it has like a QR code on it. You could scan that, and with that you could like look up public information. Like has this dollar been like redeemed yet? And just check that like there's still like effectively like credits to be. This transaction is like effectively unspent. It's like draft of a transaction. So you could verify in case someone like somehow like scratches it off, like redeems it, and then puts their own like counterfeit paint on top of it. Like counterfeit protection. You could like verify with like a QR code, but then so there's like you can publicly verify it quickly with like if you have internet connection. But if you don't, and the bill is like well manufactured, like it has like watermarks and like uses like a special paint. Like this is sort of like long-term stuff. You don't need an internet connection. Like people can use crypto who don't have computers, don't have internet access, don't even know how the technology works. They just see it, and visually it looks, visually it like looks like all the bills and feels like the bills they've used. They know that it's worth $1. Like I feel like this opens a huge segment of people who just don't care to use crypto. They don't know how. It's just money to them. You know what I mean? Or it's just art to them.
It's a start. It's a start, right? Like they understand how paper money works, so it demystifies crypto. Like instead of having to explain all of these words that people do not
Yeah.
understand to them before they could even use it, you just give them that, and then that kind of incentivizes them to learn.
Yeah. Or they don't even have to learn. They just take $1 as a tip. They spend $1 next time they're out of the store that accepts it. It's like, or they just go to like, their local brick and mortar store that like handles these things, and they do like an exchange for their local currency.
Oh, and it's great for items that would not just money, just items in general that
Yeah.
would typically be counterfeited for any reason, right? Collector's items, classic, vintage guitars, things like that. Like there's a whole business application here that it's brilliant, dude. It's
Yeah,
absolutely
it
brilliant.
does feel like it kind of like is the missing link on like RWAs, like
Yeah, no, 100%. Like this is really cool. I mean, if you were going to try to put something like, because again, I think that in this particular time we're living in, we have a lot of boomers who are not going to be around 10-15 years from now, and these boomers have a lot of like classic guitars, classic cars, things like that. There's going to be a huge burgeoning market for that, right?
Mhm.
And how do you incorporate crypto in that kind of market? It's something like this, like this is how you do it. Um, that's really cool, man.
I think so too.
Yeah,
I think it's really cool.
I had to have you come on the show and talk about it. You were talking about a space. No, let's talk about it live and like have a real conversation to where we can like kind of brainstorm and like like the synergy that happens. I felt like it was like we get you, me, Jack, Doc, everybody in the same room, and then just kind of hash out some ideas for like what type of use cases. And really, the use cases are endless with what you're working on. My next ask of you is like, what do you think? What do you think the timeline on having like
Yeah,
some type of
what's
demo?
next?
Yeah, like the demo. Like when
Yeah,
is
so I have the smart contracts done. I have the website done. I just need to host it. And what I want to do is like I'll just do the like little experiment thing I was trying before, like make like $5 of Welsh, and I'll like drop like a QR code on Twitter and just let people like try and claim it really quick fast. Or I'll do like $5 of RU or something, or USDH or whatever, or Charisma or something, and just like get people like more comfortable like with the flow of like, okay, this is how you just like understanding how it can work and how they can use it. And
And we
then
can we can
yeah,
test it here too.
yeah,
Like
like just
yeah,
like we did Signet and op predict. Like, dude, let's test it live.
yeah, yeah,
I'll
we could show a code at like the beginning of the like beginning and like middle of the organized call, and just for people to like try and quickly scan and race to submit it. It'd be fun.
and then
yeah.
like Finder and think about how like this can kind of like be implemented with Binder, right? Like
Yeah, they could just put a QR code in Find to Earn, like visually, and then you just find it and scan it.
yeah. I mean, you need somebody traveling all over the place, or you have like a mob of people that are gonna like put the QR code. I don't know, but it's cool as fuck.
Yeah, yeah, it's cool. It makes these things feel physical now, like in a way that like it's the signature. Like once the signature is produced, it's sort of like a draft, like like a credit, like a promise to move some funds from one address to another.
Is there
But
some that you could like incorporate encrypt like the like how with Binder and there's like encrypted sides of NFTs and stuff like that with this for like is there any use for doing like something like that with NFTs, like some type of merging of ideas there?
so what was that? Can you say it again?
So like how in Finder and like one person can own the NFT and it gives you only like the information to the person that owns the NFT, but to somebody else it's still visible as the NFT. Like, is there some type of like encryption, like encrypted NFTs that you could use for this, or is it necessary, obsolete, just like a random, just spitballing, just an idea? Like
I mean, there's definitely like privacy aspects of this. So, like, um, yeah, I mean, like, because I mean, at its core, like what Blaze does is it takes some compute that you'd normally do on stacks and like hoists it off chain. So you can do things like privately. So you could do like a private, like do almost private transactions with like NFTs. So like for instance, I think one of the use cases I was thinking about like a month ago is like like a mint where like everyone can do the mint like off chain, and then like you like resolve them all at once, and then
Yeah, the world's fastest NFT mint.
yeah, some stuff like that. And then, but like the thing is, you wouldn't, like in a normal mint, it kind of goes like one at a time, and like you have an ID that increments, and you sort of like know what your ID will be in real time. And if then it's just the problem, like the art has to be like hidden until it's revealed. So, but with this, I don't think you'd need to do that because you could like randomize the NFT numbers like on the server and then just like give them out randomly, so like, and like have your own, I don't know, like once you're just doing things on a server in like JavaScript or Node or whatever, and don't have to write in Clarity, you have a lot more flexibility. Like you can use like oracles, you can use like random numbers, you can delay things, you can move around the order of things. So yeah, I mean, it's really like just unlocks a lot of things that could not be done before.
And it'd be a great item for onboarding in general. Like imagine like Welsh savings bonds or things like that, right? That you could give people and like, hey,
Yeah.
check this out, and then they could use. Yeah, there's a lot of cool stuff there. And then,
SBTC is a SIP 10, so that's, dude, Bitcoin in this form, like in cash form, forget about it.
Yeah, no, I mean, you could do Bitcoin physical money, like dollars, like $20 of Bitcoin. It's like a paper money. Like, I don't know. Yeah, like it's just crazy. There's just so much that can be done with this. And I am just one person and I want to do it all. But
yeah,
Yeah, dude, you're already like what, building Charisma, building Blaze, building Predict, building Signet. Like,
I'm just trying. Yeah, no, honestly, I had to like after I got back from my trip, I had to kind of like reprioritize. Like, I'm only gonna be able to like focus on like a few things. So I tried to just focus on like the core protocol first instead of like app layer stuff, just because I want to make it. I want to get that sort of figured out and done, so it's easier for other people to build on top of it.
make it to where it's plug and play, and then anybody doesn't have to like figure out how 3 different components works to make something shake. You could just literally like, here you go, build your app.
Yeah, because I mean, my time's gonna get even more limited soon. Quite frankly, I am broke, so I need to get a fucking job ASAP.
Shit.
Unless one of these VCs wants to actually respond to my emails from. I was supposed to get in contact with them, and I got 2 like introductions via email after the hackathon. But I haven't like been able to get. They haven't replied yet. So.
Oh, okay. So hashtag
Not
Little
sure.
Battle VCs. The winner is reaching out to you. Please
Yeah.
do something.
Let's build cool stuff. Let's build stable coins and physical money and all this stuff that could bring millions of people to Bitcoin.
that's really what's going to be one of the big things next. It's going to be investment DAOs. It's going to be decentralization of the VC model.
Yep.
And anybody's going to be able to take part in it. Because again, like if you even in a small ecosystem like Stacks, right? If you had a solid DAO set up to where we're saying, okay, we're going to support builders, right?
Yeah.
And in return for, you do whatever kind of deal a VC would do, right? You same split. So you get your DAO token, and that represents, any, a portion of profits from the different builders that you help put up, right? Like that's what it's really going to take, because the VC model is great and everything, and it's got a lot of use cases and a lot of cool things have been financed by VCs, but that doesn't mean that it doesn't also need to be decentralized and democratized. And this is one of those instances where, you get a group of anons and you raise some money and say, yeah, let's fund this guy. Let's help him build a team.
You could
Let's
even
help.
do it from X nowadays with what Crypto Dude is building with BoostX. He's spinning up like DAOs on X through
Right.
BoostX, like with that Asigna integration that he has now. So, I mean, it's the limit. It's like you're putting like crowdfunding, VC, whatever you want to call it, putting it in front of the people that are going to invest into your business, whatever app you're trying to create. Like, yeah, I see a place where BoostX could really benefit what we're talking about here. So that was along the lines of the discussion we had on Monday with Crypto Dude. Was we're talking about DAOs on X. So
Right. And then if you pair that with reputation, right? Like the reputation badge system, that's how you verify the likelihood of this person who you're making an informal funding arrangement with. You're doing it based on reputation, right? If somebody who's new or doesn't have any time in the space or anything like that, and they've got a good idea, how do you know they're not just gonna rug, right? So you pair that with reputation, and you have the foundation for a pretty decent way to democratize startup funding, basically.
and then you don't even have to worry about a popular name, or anything like this. Like you build your chain, like your on-chain reputation, and then nobody can't tell you anything. Like, here's my proof. It's all on chain. This is the work that I've done with others. This is what I've contributed. And that on-chain reputation score from Zero Authority is going to be going to be major. It's going to play a part in a lot of the way that we interact with each other. And it doesn't matter if you have a face or not. You can be anonymous. You can be undoxed. You can be doxed. It doesn't matter. It's all about how you act on chain. So this is the future, and like we're building for it right now, building the change, like Crypto Dude likes to say. So it's awesome, Rosar, that you've like kind of got through your like vacation esque, like you know decompression state and came straight back with the banger, dude. Like, seriously, like, it's awesome. It's awesome to see that you're able to like disconnect, realize that like, hey, I've been like hammering so fucking hard. I need to kind of prioritize. I also need to disconnect for a minute, give myself some room to breathe, and then come straight back and look what comes from it, right?
Dude, I like the idea of making a DAO, because okay, look in a bullish environment. It is not a stretch to launch a DAO like this and raise 100,000 plus.
To where everybody can just vote. Like, you got skin in the game, you can vote. And
it's just a matter of right.
Really, though, I feel like everyone is so broke right now. Maybe it's just me.
Right now. It's not right now. It's a bad time.
Yeah.
But, that's not going to last. But a DAO like that could be built. The token could be launched. People could do it in a however they wanted, pre-sale, what have you, and then like you train an AI on like, so that the DAO understands like, hey, this is how a startup process usually goes. Here's the amount of due diligence a startup would usually do. Here's the steps. Here's the benchmarks, and you can use that as a guide. And then like you say, okay, well, let's see, for what Rosar needs to do here, he needs to hire a couple devs. That let's say he needs 2 devs for 3 months. That's 30 grand, right? So we say, okay, here Rosar, here's your 15 grand to get started, and then we have this benchmark right here that the AI is going to manage, and then yeah, why not? Why shouldn't we do that?
There's no reason not to. And I know that like this must be like information overload for Felicia. And
You're good. You're good. I'm listening. I'm also creating my ex profile right now.
Oh, she's on the game. She's getting herself.
We've pointed that ADHD in the right direction. That's all it takes.
Everybody that needs to.
That's it.
Yeah, I mean, all my optimism is gone. I wish I could believe that 15K, even 15K would come from retail into anything I'm working on. But in my experience, it's just extraction from is like the name of the game. Like
That's
I don't
it.
know. I'm afraid to even offer like farmer awards anymore because I'm just worried it's just all, you know, mercenary extraction. Like is what just the trend, at least right now. Maybe until we are seeing week over week, you know, bullish charts.
Oh
But
my.
Yeah,
I need an investor to come in and save me, so I don't have to go get a fucking job at McDonald's.
Shit, dude. Speaking of McDonald's, did you see that Hero lost his main account?
Oh, I didn't, but I haven't seen his post recently.
Yeah, he lost his main account. Not banned or anything like that. He lost like all his devices all at once. And if you get approached by somebody that is Hero Gamer underscore temp, that's really Hero Gamer. Me,
Oh, he's in our chat. I see him.
yeah. He's got the noir thing going on.
yeah,
It's
Yeah.
like Max Payne.
good grief. Love you, buddy. Love you, buddy. You'll make it through. He's got a week or two. So we were telling him in the Zest, or was it the Zest Hall? I can't remember what space it was.
There's so many
So
spaces today.
we were telling
I think it was just
Yeah, we were telling him to go like take this week or two to go troll people outside of the ecosystem. He said, "Nah, fuck that. I'm gonna troll people inside of Stacks." So he's gonna be poking fun on all accounts. Let's see what we can stir. Let's have some fun, Hero. Make light of a dark situation and just have some fun. But yeah, Rosar, I think that you really are bringing the best game in Stacks right now. You, Crypto Dude, Zenatron, you guys are innovators. So like, you have a very important job. So if you are a VC and you are listening to this, you're supposed to be doing these accelerators, etc. Please do answer DMs. Please do answer emails. Let's get this thing shaking. I know that there is a divine timing about these types of things, but you know, our builders fucking need you right now. So like, let's make something shake quicker, like sooner than later, for real. You know, I know that we had some technical difficulties. Maybe the reach is a little less, but I'm shilling this everywhere, baby. I'm putting it underneath Alex Jones. I'm putting it underneath TMZ, Fox News, all of the big hitters. So some viewers will see this, and I'm telling you, dude, keep building the change, and McDonald's won't happen if these VCs can just really do what they're supposed to do.
That's actually not a joke. I applied to their it's like a senior software application security or API security position.
Fucking go, dude. Go. If
I'm just applying. I'm literally at the point where I'm just applying for everything because fucking tech recruiting and interviewing is the worst fucking thing in the world.
well, your resume is stacked as hell. But
You'd think it is, but
look at it
outside the matrix or in the matrix, I should say, they don't get it really. You know, they don't get like how difficult it is to build like a startup in this space, and it's hard to explain. They just see like cryptocurrency. They're like, oh. But I don't blame them. There's too many fucking scams and like hackers in this space. I feel like it's ridiculous at this point.
kind of ruins the game for everybody, right?
Like between rugs, blatant scams, and actual hackers, it's like I'm almost not surprised everyone's broken, has no extra liquidity. It's like it's just being extracted. Like kind of really does feel like the Wild West, like highway bandits.
You took the words out of my mouth. It's still the Wild West.
Yeah,
but that's just it, right? Like
this is the bandits.
There's a few of us renegades here
that don't fucking need the money. They
trying
don't
to actually keep
worry about the
peace.
They're the fucking bandits.
But it's hard, man. It is a dangerous space to operate in. It's testing me.
Man,
but
it's
that's
hard out here
the thing, though, because like that's why my favorite analogy for this point in time is the California gold rush.
Yeah.
Right. Like that was some dangerous ass shit those people were doing, with no guarantee of success. You know, and there were bandits. There was chance of physical injury, death. And it did work out. And I know it's going to work out on this end too. It's just, you're right. It's a jungle out there right now.
Yeah.
You know?
To me, it feels like it's like I found the gold mine, but I just need some fucking money to like set up shop and like actually do this thing.
Yeah.
So it's a bit frustrating, but I think worst case scenario, I just keep chugging at it part time.
Talk divisions with Chainsaw.
Chainsaw. Yeah.
I know they just did a couple investments in a couple different in a couple different startups. So it's always worth
He's
it.
doing his own thing now. He's got Chainsaw. Did you see that, Rosar?
I haven't. I was kind of unplugged like
Yeah,
last
I get
week, just sort of like trying to stay focused on like, getting my budget in line, job search and all that stuff. But what's the deal with that?
Yeah, there wasn't a lot discussed, like I don't think, like publicly. But what I saw was he spun up Chainsaw, and then that's it. Maybe Jack knows more.
What's Chainsaw?
It's basically a VC fund that he's a part of,
Yeah.
and I know they just invested in 2 companies, so it might be worth reaching out to him and seeing what's up too in the short term.
All right. Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, we need you building, dude. We don't need you at McDonald's. Fuck that shit.
hey,
I know you gotta make it
bills,
shake.
man.
I
At the end of the day, I was not born with money. I've been grinding for it, so gotta do what I gotta do.
I see you, bro. Like, yeah, and I ain't just saying that bullshit. I see you. So, yeah, thank you for sharing your awesome ideas and also like getting vulnerable and telling us like straight up, like, yo, let's make something shake, man.
No,
Like,
it's true
wow.
though, dude.
Yeah.
Like to succeed in a space as a good actor is not easy at all.
It's fucking impossible.
It's just not easy. And like
So
that's why
outnumbered.
there's so many bad actors who just they don't have to worry about ethics or morality or anything, and they can swindle people and win short term. And it's hard, it's hard to get that funding you need when you need a team. And but
Here's another thing in the space too. You know what? Let's get rid of the nepotism. If you know somebody who knows somebody and you enter a build-a-thon, a hackathon, or whatever, there needs to be a level playing field, like whether that means getting the community involved, retroactive, like something retroactive to where you do proof of work or something like that. Nepotism has no place in a decentralized environment, and I'm not going to call anybody out specifically, but I am very in tune and I'm very observant. So get rid of the nepo shit, guys. It's not a good look. That's all I got to say about that note. Yeah, he's like, wow, he really opened up that can there at the end of
Unless you're my friend, and then it's okay.
I ain't talking about you, Rosar.
I'm saying, just let me get my thing, and then we're done with it, okay?
Okay. All right. Then whenever you're done with your thing,
Yeah. Then we're straight.
okay, I got you, bro.
Then we're done.
I got you.
This one's important.
Got you, buddy. Well, this has been an awesome episode, man, and I'm really glad that Felicia got to come on and kind of see how the whole thing works. And she's getting her X profile spent up. So once that's done, we can start showing her X profile everywhere and putting her on, and then bring her on the show and stuff. And I wanted to hear what you thought of the show.
I liked it. It was very informative. A lot to take in as a first timer. But it sounds like there's some plans in the work for people like me who know nothing about stacks and want to jump in. So I'm excited to see where I've heard these ideas turn into in the next few months or years or whatever. So it was fun. I'll be back. Don't worry.
Awesome. Yeah, I don't think that we could get rid of you after we get you started, could we?
Unfortunately not.
Thank you, Doc.
Get out now. Escape now.
Well, it has been a pleasure. I just wanted to go around the room one more time. Any last final vibes? Any last thoughts that you want to put out to the ethos? And yeah, I'll shoot to you, Jack. What are we feeling like, man?
I think that again, when you look at sentiment versus reality, you have to understand that so much of what we do in this space is based on emotions, whether you're retail or whether you're like trying to, make it here. It's not, this isn't, a place where people just throw money at you. Even if you've not only got good ideas or you've already made things happen. Look at Skullcoin, look at Rosar, right? Like you've got so many builders here who've done very cool novel things, and it's difficult, and it's made more difficult when the market is in a place where there's just not a whole lot of money floating around, just in general on the retail side. But the reality in the big picture, when you move the personal part aside, is that the stock market got just absolutely hammered today. Bitcoin barely budged. We're in a place in crypto and in Bitcoin that we couldn't have envisioned just a few short years ago, and for so many different respects. So we're directionally right, and when you're right, the reality of the situation will change, and the sentiment will change, and there will be more opportunity. So in the meantime, we use these times like we have right now to solve problems. And again, like when it comes to funding projects in a unconventional way, that might be a good problem to solve. So I think that's also something that should be looked at and discussed, because somebody's going to do it, right? And so, but otherwise, man, like we're in the right place at the right time, and that's the bitch about reality. You can't ignore it for long, and the reality is that we are on the vanguard of a whole different, just like what Rosar was talking about, not just the financial aspect of this place, not just the cultural aspect of this place. Like so many things are going to be changed by this industry, and it's just a matter of time. So in the meantime, you just survive.
Survive like Tropic Thunder. Whenever you guys
Honestly, could survive. That's the key. The key.
I think we're supposed to survive and have fun.
true,
Like
true.
I'm okay just surviving at this point.
regenerating it out. You know what I mean?
My standards are much lower than they started a year ago.
Look, fear is fake emotions acting real, right? We have nothing to fear. We're at the right place at the right time. We're being prepared and opportunity meet. So we're gonna keep doing it, man. We're gonna keep chipping away. And I do believe that we are trailblazers in this space. We're early, and we're gonna inspire others as we go. So thank you, Jack. I appreciate that. And Rosar, I'm gonna shoot to you next, man. You have some big brain ideas. You spoke your truth. Anything else that you haven't touched on, or anything else that you'd like to add to the conversation? Any frequencies you like to put out to the ethos?
I mean, not much. I mean, I'll just say, like, if you're seeing a little less of me posting, it's probably just because I'm trying to get my finances in order and job interview and all that shit. But I'm still around, still working, still cooking up stuff. I'll keep you updated, but don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. Otherwise, yeah, try and share this stuff if you know people working with any of the accelerators. Annoy the shit out of them for me so we can get this shit going. Ideally, ideally, I want to spend as much time on it as possible, because it's like, everything I've been working on the last few years. So I'd like to continue that and work on stuff I'm passionate about, especially when I feel like we are so close to so many like amazing breakthroughs.
So close.
But but yeah, bother them so they can actually, help move the space forward. If not for, if not for just, I don't know, like they should just do it for their own bags at this point. Like, I don't think,
I agree.
yeah, I don't know what else to say. Like, we need some sort of killer feature app thing this cycle, and nothing I've seen so far is it. Like, I love all the apps and things we got in our space, but like I don't think like dollar cost averaging or an AI trading interface, like all these things are like little tiny user experience improvements, but they're not going to onboard 1 million people. Like we need the thing.
Oh, and the competition's just getting stiffer.
Yeah, and I feel like there's not many people working on like that it thing, but like me and a handful of people, a lot of people in this space are thinking about this stuff all the time. Like, I don't know why. It seems like a simple decision. Like if they already have a lot invested in these other, DeFi platforms in this space, like you'd want the space to win. So like VCs, do it for your own bags. Give me some fucking money so I can help Stacks win and Bitcoin win. That's it.
Big facts. We need innovators. We need idea creators. We need these types of builders in the space. We have DeFi unlock, and I understand that making UI and user UX improvements are awesome, but we do need that it app. I do agree with you, and yeah, I'm gonna get loud, dude. I'm gonna get loud, and things change, and this is the way. So if we can get mobilized and get loud together, then hopefully we can inspire some change to happen. I hear you, and I see you, brother. Doc, Felicia, our main guest of the hour, Felicia. Thank you for coming on. Any last final words from you guys? Like, what are we feeling like after tonight's episode?
Yeah, how are you feeling, Doc?
I
I've talked more than you have.
was just listening the whole time, dude.
I like the dynamic. It's great. It's gonna
It's
be.
just getting warmed up. Just wait.
Thank you so much.
You can pick your ass up anytime.
Nobody wants to hear us.
We need some comedic relief, and I need Felicia digging into Doc like I saw the other night. And it's.
I apologize. I am very tired. I was up.
Oh
at
no,
5
no
o'clock
apologies
this
needed. I
morning.
already know it's coming.
Yeah. Today was my early day.
Thank you for coming on, guys. I really appreciate you guys, and I really hope that you have a blessed rest of your night. You guys are base chads, and keep chipping away. McDonald's is right there, but don't think about McDonald's. We're right. We're literally right there too, and I feel like change is coming. So, you guys keep the frequency high. Keep chipping away. I'll talk to you guys soon.
Later.
That's a wrap, dog.
That's a wrap. And this has been another awesome episode of DeOrganized Nightly, where we get your favorite Giga Brain Astronaut Scholars together, discuss awesome new innovations with our friends, kick out high frequency vibes, have a good time, and talk about what's relevant. Talk about what people are going through, get vulnerable, and let you know a little bit about the builders and what they're going through to try to inspire change. So go out there and help somebody today. You guys stay blessed. I am GP with DeOrganized Media, and I'm out. See you tomorrow at 7. Peace.
Bye.